Imagine, it's morning, and the sea level is already dozens of meters higher. How many exactly? Let's count. Antarctica holds roughly 26.5 million cubic kilometers of ice. If all of it somehow became liquid water in a single day, not floating as icebergs, the global average sea level would jump by about 58 meters. That's like placing an extra 20-story building on top of every coastline on Earth. First hour's adaptation would look simple. Everyone runs uphill. Highways turn into canals, rooftops become docks, and school gyms become shelters perched on little islands of high ground. Here's the kicker. The energy needed to warm typical Antarctic ice from minus 30 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees and then melt it is on the order of 9.6 times 10 to the 24th joules. That's about 16,000 times more than all the energy humanity uses in a year, and roughly hundreds of times the energy of the asteroid that ended the age of dinosaurs. If someone actually delivered that energy in 24 hours, the problem wouldn't only be sea level, it would be a planet that literally overheated. The only workable plan here is magic without heat. If not, switch off anything that warms and wait for the ocean to stop boiling from our thought experiment. A relative bit of good news, the water would not arrive as a vertical wall like a tsunami. It would behave more like a megatide spreading according to seafloor topography. In the deep ocean, the surge wave in sea level can travel at hundreds of kilometers per hour. On continental shelves, it slows, but not enough to prevent an all-day evacuation. Cities like Mumbai, Shanghai, New York, and Alexandria, and yes, large parts of Florida, would drown. Adaptation? Hilltop airports become air ferry hubs, amphibious buses roll out overnight, and the Netherlands unveil Plan B, temporary floating provinces on pontoons and a museum treasure airlift to quarries above 100 meters. Now the weird gravity bit. Huge ice sheets tug on nearby ocean water, raising the local sea level. Remove the Antarctic mass and, relative to the new global mean, sea level around Antarctica actually drops a little, while in much of the northern hemisphere, it rises by more than 58 meters. The world's coastlines redraw themselves like a map editor gone rogue. Bangladesh becomes an archipelago. The Aegean looks almost like an inland sea. The Black and Azov Seas push inland along river valleys. Adaptation. Geodesists recompute the GeoAd. Navigation companies ship a patch called Sea Level Version 2.0, and governments adopt a blunt rule. Anything below the plus 60 meters contour is a permanent relocation zone. Fresh meltwater caps the ocean, lowering surface salinity. Salinity controls density, and density drives circulation. Formation of Antarctic bottom water, one of the deep engines of the global ocean, stalls. Climate hiccups, currents weaken, storm tracks wander, weather gets jumpy. Adaptation will be equal parts earnest and absurd. Yes, some governments would try to re-salt parts of the ocean. Floating wave energy farms proliferate to power new coastal platform cities, and international programs scramble to rebuild fisheries in a stratified, fresher ocean. The planet's spin changes a little. Shifting mass from a polar cap into the oceans increases Earth's moment of inertia, so the length of day grows by tiny fractions of a millisecond. Humans won't notice. Satellite navigators and astrophysicists will. Adaptation is mundane. Schedule extra leap seconds, update time signal tables, and push urgent firmware patches to every survey drone that now takes off from balconies. On land, river deltas turn salty, freshwater grids get redrawn, and billions head uphill. History hints at the scale. During Meltwater Pulse 1A, somewhere around 14 to 18 meters of sea level rise over a few thousand years slowly reshaped coasts. We just did it in 24 hours. The next year's adaptation becomes the 58-meter contour mega project. High-speed rail to plateaus, step cities terraced along mountain slopes, hillside agriculture where plains used to be, floating solar parks as the new deserts, and potable water hubs on rocky heights fed by long desalination trunk lines. The takeaway: if the world somehow melted Antarctica in one day, we would have already reinvented geography. This is an absurd, bright red maximum chaos button that teaches a simple lesson. Ice is not just cold water, it is a planetary stabilizer. The best adaptation happens before the button. Do not press it. Keeping the ice is cheaper than learning to live in a world where your old home sits under 58 meters of calm, relentless, and absolutely unpersuadable water.